We are discussing about relational data model in DBMS. So we have seen what is relational data model, what are the key concepts of the relational data model. So let's see once again what are the key concepts of relational data model. First, the attribute. Attribute is nothing but a column name or its property of entity. Table is nothing but it's hold the record or tuples. Okay, a set of tuples. The tuples is a record of a particular entity. Relational schema is the structure of your table. Degree is the number of attribute in that table. Cardinality is the number of records or number of tuple in that relation. Column is, it's represent the specific value for the particular entity. Yeah, sorry, attribute. Relation instance is one state of your relation, means at particular time what are the records are available in that relation. Relation key is the attribute or set of attribute which uniquely identify each records in that relation. Attribute domain is the define the value that can attribute that attribute can attain, or it can allow that value to store in that attribute. Okay, this domain is a kind of restriction over relational data model. Okay, so these are the some key concepts we have discussed. Okay, now let's see the formal and informal comparison between relational data model and the what the term we used generally. Table in the relational data model we call it as a relation. Column header we call it as an attribute. All possible column values we call it as a domain. Row we call it as a tuple. Table definition we call it as a schema or the structure of table. Okay, populated table is called the state of a relation. Okay. We've also saw the characteristics of relation. First we have see ordering of tuple. In a relation the ordering of tuple is not a restriction, means you can store your record of relation in any order. The order is doesn't matter in which order you follow. You store the your record in a roll number wise, name wise, or date of birth wise, and any order you can follow. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then we have discussed the ordering of attribute. Always the ordering of attribute is better because the we have seen relation is a list of attribute in the relation. We mention relation name in the list of attribute. When we talk about the list, or there must be one order we follow. Okay, okay, so let me one right. Suppose we have a table. In table student table there is an attribute roll number, name, and age. So first record we store as a roll number 100. Just consider we store roll number 100, name X, age 19. This. And the second record, suppose we are writing age, name Y, roll age 20, and roll number is 101. So in this way we cannot store. We have to follow the order in which you define the schema. Define the schema means what is the structure of your student table? Student, roll number, name, and age. So whenever you store any record in this relation, you have to follow this order. First, you will enter the roll number, then name, then age. You cannot enter first name, then age, then roll number. Okay. So always you have to follow the order in which you mention your relation schema. Okay. The second character. Okay. The third characteristics we have seen value in tuple. Always the what the value we are storing in any cell of the relation, it must be atomic. Atomic means the value cannot be further subdivided. Okay. Always it must be atomic. Then we have seen the how we can refer one cell value using this notation. Mention your tuple number in which tuple you want to access, and after mention the attribute. Okay, like here in this example I want to access this at this cell value. So I will first call what is the tuple value for this? What is the tuple value for this cell? Is T5 or 4, whatever. Then what is the attribute name? Address. So you will call it as a T4 dot address. Okay, in which you can refer this tuple value, or the component one component values. Okay. Then there is some constraints or over our relationship. There are three main constraints: key constraint, integrity constraints, and differential integrity constraints. The first constraint is a key constraints. Key constraint says that each tuple in a relation must be unique. There is no two tuple or two record have the same value. Means, if you remember, we have 1 minute. Let me write. If again there is a one table student, just consider, and the first column is roll number, name, and age. Okay. So first you store suppose roll number 101, name X, and age 19. The second student has this. You cannot enter the same record as you entered before. Here, as you can see, all three value are the same as what we entered earlier. Okay, so this kind of insertion in your relation is not allowed in relational schema. This is means this is one kind of constraints. Okay. Second says that the key is should be minimal. Means what the key we are going to use in our relation must be minimal. Means what you define the key for that relation, the number of attributes should be minimum. Means if there is one attribute, it is good. If there is a key which is composing of three attribute, and there's another key which is composing of two attributes, so you will go for the two attributes key, because you must choose what the key has minimum number of attributes. Are you getting my point? Let me write. If there is a relation S and there is an attribute A, B, C, D, E. Suppose there is five attributes and one key. There is several keys like A, C, D is forming one key, B and C combination forming one key, and just consider D, E, A, D, E forming one key. Means there are three key you can define. Means all these three key uniquely identify your records. Okay, so you will select which key, the key which has minimum number of attributes like B and C, BC. Okay, and all the key concept, I think I have just mentioned to you when we will discuss about the ER data model. If you have any doubt in the key, you can ask. Okay, so again I'm just telling you, please go and find any books or internet and clear all the concepts related to key, because the key concept in a database is very important. Okay, if it is not clear from my side, you can go and search from the internet and differentiate all the keys. What is key? What is primary key? What is candidate key? Super key? Foreign key? Composite key? All these kind of key are in database. So you just go to internet and find all this definition and see the example. Okay. If if then it is not clear to you, you can ask me. Okay. Just key constraint. Here we have mentioned one relational schema for relation R, relation car. In the car relation, there is these six attributes, and it has just says two keys are there. State and registration number is forming one key, and key two is serial number. So you will select which key for your relation. Okay, the which is has the less number of attribute. Okay, like if serial number is a key, and if you add another attribute like make with it, it is a key, but it's not a minimal. The nature is not minimal. Means serial is enough. Serial attribute is enough to identify each record uniquely. So there is no need to add other attribute for forming this key. Okay. So if not a make part of this key, it is serial number is able to identify each record. Okay. So in your relation, if there is more than one candidate key are available, so out of these candidate key, what keys are available, you will choose one key as a primary key. Means, just again, suppose there is several candidate key in your relation. Okay, key A, key B, key C. There's several candidate key in your relation, and out of these three key you can choose anyone as a your primary key. Like you can choose B as a primary key. It's depend on you only. Okay. So if in a relation there is a several candidate key, one choose arbitrary to be a primary key. The primary key attribute are underlined. What the key you are choosing for your primary key for your relation, you will underline that attribute. Means it shows this is your primary key for that relation. In short, we write primary key as a PK and candidate key like CK and super key for SK. Okay, these are the some notation we used. Okay. For example, consider the car relation schema is the car relation schema. We choose serial number as a primary key. So we choose this serial number as a primary key. So as you can see, this is underlined. Means it's showing that serial number is a primary key for this relation car. Okay. The primary key value is used uniquely identify each tuple in a relation. It's obvious if it is a key that's the ability to identify each record uniquely. Okay. It's provide the tuple identity or if you see the student relation, there is a roll number, name and age. Just consider, and roll number is the kind of key attribute or primary key attribute which is able to identify each record of the student uniquely. Means suppose I just call roll number 19, so there is only one student roll number 19. Means this roll number attribute is able to uniquely identify each record. There is no two students having the same roll number. Okay. Which primary key you are selecting? Suppose we have option and two or three option. Out of this candidate key, you have to select the one primary key. First, you just see it must be smallest. If it is, then it's good. But it's not a constraint. Always your primary key must be minimal. But if it is, if if you have an option to select the minimum number of attributes key, you can you should go for that. And the second point is depend on the sometimes subjective what in the which context we are using your database. Okay, always what is the primary key for that relation is depend on the application context in which context you are going to use your data. Okay, so there is give me one definition. It depends. Suppose there is a student relation again, the same students roll number is the one attribute, name is one attribute, and just consider contact number or mobile number is one attribute. Okay, it has three attribute, and there is another relation like cellular company or some. Suppose just consider there is one company idea, cellular company, and it has the customer record, it will store the mobile number which is allotted to customer name and age. Now these record this record will store the student's record, and this idea schema will store the record of its customer. Now for this relation, roll number will form the key. We will select primary key as a roll number, because now we are referring each student by its roll number, but not its contact number. Okay, contact number is one attribute, and it's also a unique, but we will choose roll number as a primary key for this relation student. It's the same way, there is a name, mobile number, name, and age, but several company will choose mobile number as a key, primary key for that relation idea. Each this idea company will identifies its customer via that mobile number. Okay, so now we have option of choose contact number as a primary key. We'll select roll number, and here mobile number is a key. So it is depend on the which context you are going to use as a database. Okay, is it clear? The point is clear. Which key you are going to select? So here, as you can see, we have two options. There is a license number is a one candidate key, and engine number is one another candidate key. Means we have two candidate key. We have two option. We have two candidate key. Out of this two candidate key, we can select either license number or engine serial number for the primary key. Okay. Now it's up to you which attribute you are going to select. Here is select license number is a primary key, so it's underlined. As you can see here, it's underlined. Okay, means it's showing it's a primary key for that relation. This license number is a PK, is primary key for this relation. Car. Relational database schema means it just shows how many relation are in that database. The database, if you remember the definition of database is a collection of relation or collection of tables. So it just shows how many tables are in that database. It's showing there's an n number of relation available for this database S. So it's showing that schema S means the relational database schema. Are you getting my point? If we are creating a database for just consider bank, so in that bank database, how many tables are available? Customer table, or borrower table, depositor table, or asset table. All these table are the part of bank. So you will write here bank and write the name of relation of that bank schema. Okay, so let's see here one example of the relation schema here. As you can see, the company database, we have several relation. Employees one relation, department location, project workshop, dependent, and these relation are the part of company schema. This company database schema, and this company database schema consists these six number of relation. Okay, means all these six relation are interrelated for the company database. I'm pausing here and just waiting for your response. Is it clear to all of you, or you have any doubt till this point? You can write in chat if it is clear. If it is clear, you can write in chat, or if it is not clear, if you have any doubt, you can even also write in chat. Okay. Okay. So most of the students write yes. Yes. They have clear everything. Okay. Next constraints is entity integrity. The next constraints over our relational data model is entity integrity constraints. This constraint says that when you select one attribute, uh, uh, one attribute or set of attribute as a primary key, means when you select a primary key of your relation, that attribute cannot contain null value. Means when you are selecting any attribute as a primary key for that relation, that attribute cannot contain null value. Means we select a primary key for that relation for uniquely identify that records. Like roll number is a primary key for the student relation, and this roll number is uniquely identify your each record of the students. So when you set roll number as a primary key, you cannot leave it blank. Means you have to always mention what is the roll number of students. You cannot leave it blank, or you cannot set the that roll number column as a null. Okay, is it clear? Again, just mentioning, we have one relation student. In the student table, there's a roll number, name, and age. Okay, so always just your roll number is just your roll number is a primary key. So always when you enter any record in that student relation, you have to mention the roll number of the student. Okay, you cannot leave it blank, or you cannot store null value for the roll number column. Okay, you can store you can set a name as a blank or as a blank, because these attribute is not a primary key for that relation student. Okay, but when you mention roll number is a primary key, you cannot leave it as a blank. Okay, I'm sure it is clear. The next is referential integrity constants. It's a very tricky, so please listen very carefully what I want to explain you. Referential integrity means what the integrity we have seen till this point are are based on only one relation. Like we talk about the domain constraints is depend on the only one relation. We discussed key constraints it is for the only one relation. We have seen the integrity constraints. It is for only one relation. But differential integrity constraints, two relations. In differential integrity, we use two relation. Okay, and this two relation, first one minute, relation, just consider this is relation 1 and this is relation 2, and we are defining this constraints over these two relation. And the first relation called as referencing relation. R1 is a R referencing relation, and R2 is a referenced relation. Okay, so in this referential integrity, we used two relation. The first relation we called as a referencing relation, and second relation we called as a referenced relation. Okay, then see what is this integrity, referential integrity. The tuple in a referencing relation means relation R1 have the attribute we called as a foreign key. You just consider having a one attribute that reference to the primary key of other relation R2, means which is called a reference relation. Again, let, uh, let me write here. We have one relation. Just consider R1. R1 is a referencing relation, and there is one another relation R2, which is called the referenced relation. And one attribute of this relation, like give any name K, and here name give any name A, B, C. Here is it P, Q, K. We have R1 is a referencing relation, and R2 is a referenced relation, and we have the three attribute for the R1 P, Q, K, and R2 is the A, B, C. And this any attribute, like we are selecting K, is a referencing to this attribute. Okay, here your A will be a primary key for the relation. Always you have to remember this A will be a primary key, and this attribute is referencing this table. Now let's see one example. Okay, suppose this R1 is a student relation. Just consider R1 is your student relation, and this R2 is a course relation. Just consider R1 is a student relation and R2 is the course relation. In the R1, P is just consider roll number, Q is showing name, and K is showing the course in which the student is registered. Means course ID in which students registered. And here course relation, there is a course ID is one relation, one attribute. Course name is another attribute, and duration you can say. Okay. So roll number of student 101, name, let's consider X, and course ID it is registered for is CS 101. Okay, student number 2, Y, course registered is 102, and student roll number 103, student name X. Two students can have the same name. Okay, don't worry. 101. Two. Okay, and now here the store the record of courses available. 01, CS102, CS103. Name of course is like you can write anything, RST, whatever. Okay, 3 month, 6 month, 3 month. Okay, so now we have mentioned this record 101 student, roll number X is registered for this course CS101. Now CS101 is not here. Uh, the detail of this course is not mentioned here. So it will refer where it is stored. CS101 is stored here. So it will says CS101, the course is a course, you can say it's a course R programming, and the month of this course is 3 months. You can say it's a Python programming, and it's just considered it's C++ programming. Okay. So the student, this X student registered for this R programming. It's the 3 month duration of course. And course student Y, the course ID is 102, and the detail of this here is available in this table R2, and the detail of this course is here mentioned here. Okay. So here as you can see, R1 is a referencing table, R2 is a reference table. Okay, and the one attribute is referring to another attribute of another table. Okay, as you can see, this is a referencing attribute or called the foreign key. This is a foreign key which is referencing to the attribute of another relation called all2, and here which attribute is referring is attribute A. When you referring any attribute, that must be a primary key of for that relation. Here as you can see, this attribute A is a primary key for this relation R2. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Now let's see our PPT. The tuple in a referencing relation R1 have the attribute FK. FK is a foreign key that referencing a primary key of attribute. PK is just showing the primary key of the referenced relation R2. Okay, as you can see, as you've seen here, this K is a foreign key for that relation R1, and this attribute A is the primary key for that relation R2. Okay, and a referential integrity constraint can be displayed in a relational database schema as direct as R from R1 FK to R2. Okay, we are going to see this point in the next slide. Here, as you can see, in the last class, this relational schema we have discussed for the banking system. Okay, here this is one relation branch, account, depositor, customer, borrower, and loan. So this arc is showing a referencing integrity or the foreign key constants. Okay. Now see these two table only. Just consider these two table only. Okay. Branch and account are the two relation, and here account relation is a referencing relation and branch is a referenced relation. As you can see this arc, this arrow, and branch name is a foreign key for this relation account and is referencing to this attribute branch name in this relation branch. So as you can see, it's a primary key. It is a gray background. It's written a branch name. It appears it's a primary key for the relation, and this account relation is referring this attribute. Okay. So this arrow shows it's a differencing relation and it's a reference relation. Where arrow is arrow head shows it's a reference relation. Okay, and link is showing as a referencing relation. Means you have mentioned the branch name in the account relation, and the detail of this branch name is available in this relation branch. It store the branch name, branch city, and assets. Okay. Now see these two relation. Now see this two relation only. Here, borrower is a referencing relation and loan is a reference relation. And this loan number attribute is a foreign key for this relation borrower. And here loan number is a primary key of that relation, as you can see, and is referencing. Here you have mentioned loan number, but where is the detail of the loan number? It's available in this relation loan number, branch name, amount. Okay. So now, as you can see, this referential integrity establish the relationship between two relations. Differential integrity establish the relationship between two relations using this foreign key concepts. Which attribute is referencing is called a foreign key, and which attribute is referenced is called a primary key of that relation. Are you getting my point? If it is clear, you can unmute your mic or you can write in chat if this referencing integrity concept is clear. Okay. Most of the students are writing yes. Okay, good. Okay. So now let me ask you from your side. Okay. Now you will give the answer for these two relations. Let me write these two relations. Depositor and customer. Which relation is a referencing and which relation is referenced relation? Unmute your mic and speak. I don't have time to read your chat. Okay. Unmute your mic and speak. Anyone? Depositor and customer, we have two relation. Which relation is a referencing and which relation is a referenced relation? Unmute your mic and speak.
Sir, depositor is a referencing relation.
Okay. Customer is a reference.
Reference relation.
Okay. Which attribute is a foreign key for the, among these two relation?
Customer name.
Customer name is a foreign key. Good. And customer name is a primary key of that relation. Okay. Okay. So the concept is, I think it's clear to all of you. Okay. Now see.
Sir,
Yes, please.
how a customer name could be the primary key? Customer can have two similar names.
Yes, good. The question is, Sivang is asking how two customer name have the same. Sorry, how customer name is a primary key for that relation customer. Okay. This is the question now. Okay. The question is customer name. So there is a chance there's two customer having the same name. Okay, so there must be a customer ID, should be a primary key. Okay, so in this relation it's mentioned customer name is a primary key because there is a name, we have what the current state of the relation, and the current state of the relation, they are able to see all the customer name are the unique. That's why they mention the customer name for that relation is a primary key. Always, whenever you see.
Your voice just cut off. Can you please repeat?
Okay, okay. What when you set any key like primary key or candidate key, you see the state of relation. When the state of relationship allowed to set any attribute as a primary key you can set. Okay, uh, let me write one table here. As you can see, name and just like age, and here we have a suppose five. This just customer is table is a customer table. Okay, it's a customer table. There is a name of employees written and X, Y, Z, W, P, and the age is 19, 20, 19, 20, 21. These are the state. Means now the state of this relation, and this state of the relation, all five name of this customer table are unique. As you can see, there's no two customer having the same name. So you can set name as a primary key of that relation because the state of relation is allowing you to, you can set this name attribute as a primary key. Okay, so always it depend on the state of relation. Okay, but in the but this this setting a name as a primary key is not recommended. The, even I'm not recommending you set a customer name as a primary key because when you enter any new customer, there is a chance the new customer having the same name what you entered earlier. Okay, it should be customer ID kind of attribute we should mention. We should mention for that relation. Okay, okay. Means there is a no straightforward rule. You cannot set customer name as a primary key. There is a chance. It depends on the state. Okay. Is it clear? Who's asked saying with Joshi? I think. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, but how we gonna know about the state every time? Like in the
State.
real world, there are a lot of data, and if we are
Okay.
trying to get the state of everything, then it's impossible because
Yes.
there are
That's why.
many attributes, and we have to get the states of every attribute,
Okay.
and then we have to compare with each of the state so that we can, finally conclude that it is a unique state. Everything is different.
Okay, Shivang, your question is absolutely correct. At this moment of time, we do, but when we create primary key, we have to follow only one rule. It must be unique. Even I am not recommending you to name. You said name as a primary key, but where it's the bank enterprise data created, they set name as a key. But even I'm not allowing, even I'm not recommending you to set name as a key. When you when I give you the task for creating a database, and if you set name as a primary key, even I also tell you please don't mention name as a primary key because there is a chance to customer having the same name. Okay, but who created that database? It's see the name are unique and it sets primary key is a candidate key. Name is a primary key. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, because the primary key definition is says that all entity or all record in that table must be unique. If it is following, you can set that attribute as a primary key. Okay, is it clear, Sivan?
Sir.
The next some key points about the referencing integrity are the value of foreign key column means the column of referencing relation or FK, the R1 can be either first key pointer, the value of existing primary key value of a corresponding primary key in the referenced relation R2, or null. Means this point says the value of foreign key attribute. The value of foreign key attribute must be referring to an existing record. Means 1 minute. Here, as you can see, this relation, just consider 1 minute. This record of student x1 is set the foreign key value for this CS101. So the value of these foreign key must be an existing record of this relation. If suppose you set CS105 and this CS105 is not exist in this relation, so you cannot set that value which is not exist. Means CS105, the course is not exist in your relation course, so you cannot set that value. Means always you set the value of this foreign key which is exist. Okay. Second, you can set the value null. Means this student 105, student name P, and is not registered for any course. You can set the value null, but you cannot set the value which is not exist. Okay. So this point says a value of an existing primary key, value of a corresponding primary key P in the referenced relation R2, or a null. Okay. How we can okay, but the time is I think over. So please parallelly you write the attendance in chat like K for kite in attendance, and wait for the class end. Okay. So how we can displaying the relation database schema and its constraint? You just directly see this relation. There is an n number of relation or employee, department location, project, and the relation name. How in display I'm just showing. You just write the relation name above, then below it's write the list of attribute. Write the table name or relation name, and below it write the list of attribute in this format, like, okay. And what is the referencing relation? What is the reference relation? You just establish the relationship using this arrow symbol. Okay. So now you can see how these tables are related. Each table are related with each other in that's a context. Okay. Okay. So like see when this just consider these two relation, project and works on, and project entity as project name, project number, location, and department number, in which department the project is running and what is the project number of that project. Okay. And works on is the ESN number, employee SSN number, who is working and which project number is working, and number of hours for it's working. Okay. So project number is now here. You can see the foreign key for that relation, and is referencing relation is project, and this is the primary key for that relation. Okay. So in which this is just showing the how you can display your whole relational database using this notation. Okay. Is it clear? So now if you have any doubt you can ask, otherwise you can leave the class because the time has been over.